Because yes, we can be a light in this dark world, but you're not the lamp. You are now listening to Season 3, Episode 3 of the Real Confessions Podcast. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Confessions Podcast. This one is going to be very impromptu. I think that's the word. Impromptu, very sporadic, very random, but also aligned. And I'm going to tell you what happened. This literally happens. Kid you not, I'm in the parking lot of Aldi's because I needed to go grocery shopping. And on my way here, I see a lady, so I'm driving, and I see a lady walking on the sidewalk crying. A lady in a pink sweater, red hair, crying. And I'm like, nah. So what did I do? Skirt! I pulled the car around. I don't know, something. I had this inclination to just turn the car around. So I skirt right around. I found the nearest parking space because I didn't want to miss her. And I don't know what called me to do this. I don't know why I'm like this, but I am. So I say, excuse me, and I see her walking, and I have to cross the street. There are cars going through, and I'm like, wait over there. I'm going to cross the street. So I cross the street, and I ask her, like, I'm sorry, this is random, but I was driving, and I saw you crying. Are you okay? And she starts crying and bawling her eyes out like she could rarely talk. And I extended just my arms. I extend my arms, and I gave this lady a hug. And I was just telling her, like, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're feeling or experiencing, but I see someone that is sad. And I'm like, everything will be okay. And she's like, oh my God, you're so nice. You know, why are you being so nice? No one cares. And, you know, I say this to say this is just a prime example on why we need to bring kindness back, why we need to bring empathy and compassion for others back. And I would say bringing it back because, yes, I feel like because there's so much happening in the world and a lot of our life experiences causes for us to, you know, harden our heart and no longer be there for people. You know, we experience hurt, we experience disappointment, but I still think that we should be the light in this dark, fast-paced, and crazy world. So, like, it's a hectic world, but we need to be the light in this darkness. And in a way, like, I didn't tell her in that moment, and I didn't pray for her in that moment because it happened so fast, and someone came to pick her up, and, you know, whatever. But, like, as soon as I got in my car, I prayed for that lady. And I think she told me her name was Laura. And I'm like, Lord, God, please protect Laura, Lord. God, please, I pray that you bring her comfort, bring her your presence in this moment of isolation, in this moment where she feels alone and like no one cares. God, you care. Comfort her. Allow her your presence, Lord. And I literally prayed over that lady because I don't know what she's experiencing. You know, she didn't get to tell me, but I know that tears came out. She was crying. And that was just the confirmation that I needed that I am nice because of God's love. I am nice because God tells me to love thy neighbor. God tells me to show compassion to others. God tells me to be able to lift others up. When they may be down, be able to lift someone up, even if it's a stranger, even if it's someone that you may not even know like that. But in that moment, I felt led to turn that car around, to ask this lady what's wrong. And she was surprised. She was really surprised. Like, why do you care? You know, and not in like a rude way. She was just like, wow, like, why are you being so nice? She was in disbelief. I was kind of contemplating on making this episode because I don't feel like our like giving back, like those things, in a way I feel conflicted because the Bible does state that things that we do, it doesn't need to be out into the world. You don't need to publicize it. You don't need to do these things. But I like sharing from real world experiences. I like sharing from things that I actually experience and feel and go through. I like sharing the way God works in my life. And that's why I wanted to share this. I was contemplating because I don't want this to be a thing like me trying to portray. It's just literally who I am. And, I have moments where I don't want anything to do with people, but I have these type of moments also where it's in me to nurture others. It's in me to help other people. Of course, you can never pour from an empty cup. You need to always be connected to your source. That source is God. He can only give us the strength and the discernment to move forward in life and whatever experience that happens to us. But it's just crazy. I don't know. And I feel this sense of, I don't know which word I would put it, because it felt good to be there for someone. And I think I did it also because I know what it's like. Now, I never went on a walk and cried, but I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to feel like no one cares. I know what it's like to cry. And the fact that she was walking and crying, like, in a way, that's kind of bold and kind of brave. But maybe it's just something that happened in the moment. And I just happened to drive past this lady and see her. And I'm like, nah, I got to stop. This is crazy. Because what if this lady runs into, I don't know. This may be just the mama bear in me. But at the end of the day, that's what God wants for us to do, is to show love to others and compassion and extend your arms, prayers, I wanted to also segue into set boundaries, because yes, we can be a light in this dark world, but you're not the lamp, because lamps eventually, light up. They burn until boom, that spark is gone. And that's why we always need to make sure that we're connected to God. Because He, like I keep saying, like, He gives us the strength to be able to even show up for other people, let alone show up for ourselves. So yes, I wanted to express that. I wanted to be honest about that moment. And I wanted to encourage anyone who may feel like you're nice and, it doesn't pay off or it's not worth it. There's this misconception of like nice people always turn out last, or whatever that quote says. I really don't believe in that. And I hate that that is even such a prominent quote, and a quote that's requoted so many times, reiterated in so many different ways and variations. It's very frustrating because it gives the message that you need to be mean and cutthroat to be successful, to move forward in life, and that is not the case. So I want to speak to those who are nice and feel like it's a burden or it's a con, it's a flaw. Like, no, it's beautiful, and continue to ignite that light. Continue to be kind, continue to be patient, continue to show others love, because at the end of the day, it comes back to you tenfold. God will continue to bless us with opportunities, and this is something that I try to act on often. Giving someone words of encouragement, I remember yesterday, like, just these are just random acts of like service that I do for people, random strangers at that. I came across at school this jar of like little saying. There was one that said, "The world may be on fire, but at least you're the spark in it," or something like that. Like corny stuff, but it's like words of encouragement. I randomly, while picking up my son, randomly handed out to people that I saw. A lot of them were college students. So I'm handing it out because I know for me, I'm a college student. I'm also a mom. I work a job, and it could be overwhelming, and it could feel a little bit it could feel overwhelming, and sometimes you may feel isolated, and it's random. I'm like, hey, sorry to interrupt you, or I'll be like, hi, I know this is random, but here you go, and I hope you have a great day. It could be as simple as that, or it could be, you don't gotta turn around and talk to random people and hug them. I'm a little crazy like that, I guess. Or I don't know. I just do things like that. But I would say it could be as easy as asking someone how they're doing, what their day is like, making someone feel valued, making them feel seen. And that is small ways, like saying hello. Like, people don't say hello nowadays, which is crazy. Like, people will look at you, walk past you, and it's weird. Like, I really think it's weird. Weird. This is a weird society, weird time that we're living, but continue to be that light. Continue to show up, be positive. We're gonna have moments, like I have my moments where I don't want I don't feel like it's me being mean, but it's like, please don't talk to me. Please, I may not have I'm someone told me yesterday, just to simplify it, that I am monotone. And I have moments, he's like, Ada, you're funny without even trying. Like, you have this, you were just like, yeah, I was engaging in a conversation, or not even engaging, but I was taking part in a conversation that I was not really very much engaged with. And so I guess I might have been also multitasking. And I guess I wasn't replying with enthusiasm or, hi, hey, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Timothy. Like that type of vibe. But it doesn't necessarily mean anything either. But I get in those moods where it's just like, it is what it is. Please, I have those thoughts where it's like, nope, there's no one that's gonna come and save you, I get into like my villain persona, I guess. But it's like, you have those moments where you don't want to be bothered, when it's like, it is what it is, selfish mode, selfish era, like, let's grow, let's go, but yeah, that lover girl, that compassionate and empathetic, and that side comes out. We are all made in the image of God, but his presence and his light and his love comes out, and that's when I'm reminded that community and being open and honest and kind is so rare, but it's worth it. So I wanted to be able to leave us with a verse, on, honestly, love. I think it's really important. So we have Luke 6:35. I also did want to include that this is the New Living Translation, because I know there's different translations. I do switch between, just fun facts, but I do switch between NLT and the New King James Version. So the NKJ, I'm not good with acronyms, y'all. The only acronym I know is TRC. If you know, you know. The Real Confessions Podcast. New King James Version. I say the whole thing. NLT is pretty easy to remember. Are the two translations that I have. The physical Bible that I have is also New King James Version as well. So just for reference. Audio engineer Ada here. Hi. So upon editing, I'm like, wait, hold up. I'm curious to know what Bible translation you use. Hit me up on Instagram at Ada Ozuna. I would love to know. Okay, back to the episode. So we're going to read from Luke chapter 6, verse 35. In the name of el Padre, el Hijo, el Espíritu Santo, vamos a leer la palabra. Amén. Love your enemies. Do good to them. Lend to them without expecting you to be repaid. Then your reward from heaven will be very great, and you will truly be acting as children of the Most High. For he is kind to those who are unthankful and wicked. Let's read it in the New King James Version. Same verse, Luke 16. See, I'm tripping. Luke 6, verse 35. But love your enemies, do good and lend, hoping for nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you will be the sons of the Most High, for He is kind to the unthankful and evil. And that is essentially saying, like, we gotta be kind. We love others because He loves us first. Ooh, that's another one. 1 John 4:19. We love others because He loves us first. And that's really all that we need to do. And I feel like the world would be a better place if we all operated from that. But of course, it's not super realistic. May not actually happen that way. But we can only hope, we can only pray, we can only continue operating in God's light. And that's it. Continue to build our relationship with God, continue to share that outwardly, and continue being your true self. At the end of the day, being your authentic self, being who you really are, matters most than playing a facade or playing a role. Be yourself. Your journey may look different. Keep that in mind. Your journey may not look like mine. My journey may not look like hers. Her journey may not look like him's. So be kind. Give yourself grace. The same mercy that God gives to us, we need to give ourselves that too. And that's just a reminder for me. And I hope this was also a reminder for you. So thank you for being the best part of the Real Confessions podcast. We appreciate you here. I appreciate you. I did also want to mention, I'm so excited, but I am going to be announcing the Real Confessions hotline. So the Real Confessions hotline is essentially a space for honesty, confessions. If you want to share a testimony, if you want to share a thought, an opinion, anything that you're thinking and that's on your mind, feel free to call us, leave a voicemail to be featured on the Real Confessions podcast. I do want to give a little disclosure. This is not a crisis hotline. This is not anything that would require medical attention, professional assistance. This is essentially just a way that I can communicate and be able to build even more community and have your voices shared online. So the number is going to be 813-444-8134. Once again, if you want to be featured on the Real Confessions hotline, the number is 813-444-8134. Think of it as like a hotline radio station type of thing. Yeah. So feel free to give me a voicemail, and that's pretty much my call to action for this episode. I would love to hear your voice, and I will be looking forward to all the submissions that we have. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Like, seriously, let me take a moment to appreciate you. Yes, you listening. I appreciate you so much for being part of this community, for listening to my story, the story of others. And if you're a new listener, I appreciate you for even taking interest in being part of this community and journey and space. And if you're an OG, listen, I'm giving you a tight hug right now. So I hope that whatever you're doing, you may be driving, you may be babysitting, you may be doing your homework, you may be working out, making dinner. I'm hugging you tightly. Sorry, this is aggressive, but I love you. Okay, I say that also to say that I love and appreciate you, and I appreciate you for being an OG. Cause, man, if we're being honest, and I'm gonna end this soon. Give me a moment. I really gotta go. But for being honest, I have been through ups and downs, and I've been documenting it and sharing it, and I appreciate anyone who sticks, by my side and who supports me and who encourages me. Like, y'all encourage me, and in return, I'm encouraging you. I'm okay. I'm encouraging you. I'm sorry. I'm looking at I'm here at Aldi's, and a girl just paid another girl, and I think she bought cake or something. So it's I'm witnessing a legal interaction at an Aldi's parking lot. But who knows? And maybe it's illegal. Anyway, I could be getting distracted. I'm so sorry. But I say this all to say, my OGs, my new listeners, I appreciate you. And thank you for being the best part of the Real Confessions podcast. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye. Aida out.